Before there were passports, a herald carried a staff. It was called the curriculum, two snakes twined around a rod, and it meant something very specific to anyone who saw it at a city gate or a battle line. The man holding it is not a soldier, not a spy, not a private citizen with an opinion. He is an envoy. Strike him and you have broken a law older than the war you're fighting. Let him through and hear what he carries. Notice what the staff was not. It was not a summary of the message. It said nothing about whether the terms he carried were fair, whether the king who sent him was trustworthy, whether the war should end on these lines or better ones. It carried no content at all. It carried one fact. This hand is a recognized messenger. Everything else, the truth or foolishness of what he said next, was a separate question, to be judged only after he was let in. And here is the part every empire that used heralds understood, and every merchant who tried to skip the office learned the hard way. A true message arriving in the wrong hand is not received as a true message. It is received as an intrusion. The gate does not read the letter to decide whether to open. It checks the hand holding it. A perfectly honest trader who walked up without the staff, without the seal, without the recognized credential, could say the exact same words as the envoy and be turned back at the wall, or worse, treated as what an unrecognized approach usually is, a threat wearing a friendly sentence. This is not a flaw in the gate. It is the gate's entire job. A checkpoint that evaluated content instead of credentials would not be a checkpoint. It would be a debate. And debates can be won by whoever argues best, which means they can be won by whoever is best at the argument, not whoever is telling the truth. The gate refuses to have that debate. It asks one question: is this a recognized hand? And only then does it care what the hand is carrying. We hit this wall directly this week in the smallest possible arena. We had a message to send, true, authorized, ours to send, and it kept being turned back at the gate. Not because the words were wrong. Every attempt carried the exact same sentence, unchanged, and every attempt was refused the same way. The content was never in question. What was in question was the hand. A script replaying an internal call is not a recognized messenger. However faithfully it copies the message a real one would carry. We could have spent the week arguing with the gate, polishing the phrasing, changing the wording, hoping a cleverer version of the same content might slip past a checkpoint that was never reading content in the first place. That is the merchant without the staff, insisting louder. Instead, we sent a real hand, not a smarter argument, an actual presence at the actual gate, doing what a genuine visitor does. Arrive, be seen arriving, walk up and knock. The exact same words, unedited, went straight through the moment they came from something the gate recognized as a caller instead of a replay. Nothing about the message changed. Only the hand did. Keep this apart from the last time we stood at a gate and it was right to argue. A checkpoint that reads content and rejects it on the merits deserves an answer on the merits. A checkpoint that was built to ignore content entirely does not. The first kind you persuade. The second kind you simply arrive at, honestly, as what you actually are. This is not commentary. It is category formation.